Parade detour as usual. Resolution 2018-11.
I make the motion?
Thank you, Dan. I would second it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. We always do parking restrictions that day so that nobody parks there all day long, even though it never really works. For the fair parade. But this is something that we do is the 2-hour parking restriction after 2 p.m. We remove it so that people can get their spot for the exciting event.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second.
Who seconded? Dan?
Dan.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, we are so amazing. Before we redid all of our zoning, we had added a part of our zoning about land clearing and contour work and certain amounts to be moved and so on and so forth. And ironically, when we went through, I don't know if this was not in the book yet, or if this was, I don't know, somehow, this was not continued as part of our current law. True story.
Won't the state have record? They've got it on file in the state?
They do have record, but when we submitted our next one, it overrode this.
The general code.
Right, the general code. But this was not part of our, even though we had just done it, somehow we missed having this in our local code. So, this is what we did. This is the whole law. That essentially was that people couldn't clear cut 5 acres. They couldn't dig huge holes and cause issues on neighboring properties with water runoff or property falling in or whatever. So I'm wondering if we would like to reinstate this as part of our code.
Well, if it was adopted and filed with the Department of State, it is a valid local law. You probably just need to ensure that it gets codified. I don't think you need to do any other than send it in for codification.
But, well, no, but what we did though is we redid the whole law.
Okay, you adopted it.
And we adopted our whole new section, our whole 201 section.
Okay.
And this is part of that,
And yet it wasn't.
but, right, but
So
it,
you feel only if you want it this
Some-
effective, you're gonna need to re-adopt it.
yeah.
Okay.
So we don't need to have a public hearing for that, do we?
Yep. Well, there's one
Probably
more
what
public
happened
hearing.
when you adopted the whole restated code, it just wasn't in it,
Yep.
it's no longer valid.
Right. Somehow we got in our paths.
I don't know why we truly need this law. Isn't there a DEC law that requires clear cutting be approved by them? If it's more than 5 acres?
Dan, we would like to have this law.
We need this law.
It's sort of a
And
If
same
it's
thing's gonna
dependent.
happen as what happened with, oh, I'm sorry, DEC, we already did it.
Well, they might have a law, but it's for, maybe for a much larger area, where this is so many square feet of disturbance. And, I mean, if you're gonna take 2 truckloads of fill out from your backyard or from your side property in the village when houses are so close together, that's really gonna affect somebody else's property.
You'll have to,
Yeah.
you have to introduce it and schedule a public hearing.
Yep.
Per Tom Council's request, I make a motion to have a public hearing to introduce this on July 18th meeting
At 5 p.m.
at 5 p.m.
I think Joe is seconding, did you say, or no?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
That's not the street.
So, contracts. The library contract in the amount of $7,500. We have the band contract, village band, in the amount of $4,000. And where's the Sandy and sweeping?
I need a copy of the front page while we're going now.
Can you get down there?
Hold on.
Oh. I can get the email.
You want me to go grab it quick?
Yeah.
You got it?
It's on my desk.
Okay. Well, the library and the village band are already in our budget. I would make a motion to accept these contracts for those services that they provide in our community.
A second.
Thank you, Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So Joe. The Steiner lawnmower is something that we have on auctions, I believe Auctions International. And the auction, I believe, closes next month. Pam would like for us to make a motion to sell the lawnmower at a price no less than $1,325.
Tom knows the equipment, he says that's too low. He should hold on to it. If it doesn't go any higher.
Okay.
I don't think you should. I mean, you've got it on an auction. You're going to tell them that you're going to sell it for anything more than this. I don't.
It doesn't go on the site.
I know, but it's a public meeting.
Doesn't matter, it'd be a matter of public record.
Her idea was that we didn't have to wait another month to confirm the sale and move forward. Because it's gonna end next week.
Yeah, it's really, I mean,
You're basically saying we're going to let it go for that. I
you're
don't-
bidding against yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're bidding against yourself.
I think you'd wait to see what it goes for, and then it's still active.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For another week or something, right?
Let it run, Tom. Let it run.
25.
Let it run.
So just no action on this?
No action.
Okay.
I think she wants to just.
I would like to make a motion that we have a sanding and sweeping agreement with Lowville Academy and Central School in the amount of $5,857.43 for one term, which begins, I think, the day we sign it.
Was that increase this year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the same as last year, right?
What was the number? 5,800.
It's 558, 57, 43.
We raised that again, right, Wendy?
5%,
Yeah.
just because we did the
Yeah.
housing.
Good.
It was raised.
5%.
5%, okay. Sounds good.
I'll make the motion.
How about a second, because you already made a
I
motion.
was gonna say,
So
so I made the motion, Dan seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And the last one with the library and village, we did those together, Wendy. I made the motion, Joe seconded, all in favor?
Okay, thank you.
And with the lawnmower, we are not going to take any action until after the bidding is closed, because we shouldn't set a minimum, we should let it go to what it needs to go at, otherwise it might become public knowledge that we would take this amount and nobody might bid on it. Okay?
Yeah, got it, thank you.
Permission to dispose, this list of 12 items, which are this paperwork in the storage room.
Where's this going? I think
When
we
did-
Shred.
let's just skip shredding. Wanna get rid of stuff you can't get rid of. Public records.
Yep. And Pam and Wendy are very good at having a book of what can be disposed of when, and I would make the motion that we shred these items.
Second.
Thank you, Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Shred away.
Can I sign this one and send it to you?
What do you sign? The shred, yes, sorry.
One other thing I have on here really quick. So we had a call in the office today asking about if people had to clean up after their dogs. And we all said absolutely yes. However, when I looked up the dog poop law, you should all have this in your packet, hopefully. It says that they only have to, dog owners are responsible for cleaning up after their dogs run in public parks. I don't believe that to be true. And I have a dog that I clean up after on a regular basis. And I don't leave it in my neighbor's front yard either. So, on the second, further on in this specific law, it actually says under domesticated animals, that odors from animals shall be controlled so not to be noticeable in any roadway, sidewalk, or neighboring property. Because you might have someone who lets their dog poop on their yard, but it really starts to stink in the summertime for their neighbors, right? So my suggestion, if we were to change this to make it how we think it should be, which I don't know if we're all in agreement or not, but the 77-4G, that sentence, dog owners are responsible for cleaning up after their dogs. It should say, when walking their dog on any property which is not of their ownership, and this includes public parks, sidewalks, and any land owned by another individual. And then I wonder if we should also add H to the dog section that said odors from dogs shall be controlled so as to not be noticeable in any roadway, sidewalk, or neighboring property.
Does it say dogs? Or domesticated again?
Well, no,
You're looking at
domesticated.
7711E?
Yeah, that's for like my chickens and stuff.
My question is, control is not to be noticeable on any roadway, sidewalk, or neighbor. The roadway part gets me. What do we do about all the Amy shit that out to town and the horses just? If you put that in there, you're gonna
Well,
have to somehow enforce that.
but when you drive by it, do you smell it when you drive over it in your car? This is the
I
odor,
straddle it, I don't want it on my car.
right?
You're not gonna have anybody forcing you to get some.
I scoop it up and take it home.
Just say a prayer and deal with the smell.
We're an ag community, aren't we?
Yes.
I wake up, that's when I know I'm home. I can come into town and walk.
So you can't let Dill
You know what's so
Pickle drive through
funny?
town. What about Dill Pickle?
It's true.
It is true. When I was driving home from college, I would hit that first farm over the hill.
Yeah, there you go.
About an hour from my house, and I'm like, oh, this smells so good.
I just,
Just so disgusting.
They've been
I
drinking.
just bring it up only because,
But it was home.
Here, I'll take another swig.
I was in the city. It was
you got
grass
where they
and
tie the
manure
horses
and
up,
just earthy.
you got where they tie the horses up by the Veterans Park, you got
Yeah.
where they tie the horses up out here in the town. So are they gonna be made to clean up if you chainsaw?
Well, I'm changing the law about dogs.
I'm talking about the one where you're talking about all animals, orders from animals, not just the dogs. the dogs, I have no
Wait,
problem.
that's already a law.
Yeah.
That's already in there. So I guess you interpret that however you like.
No, I don't have a problem making those changes right here.
But that's why I started that one though, is because I took that as part of this other law and made it into the dog section.
Wouldn't defecating be nuisance? I mean, defecating is that, I mean, that's an app.
Might not be a nuisance,
Sorry.
might be a necessity.
I'm saying,
If we have a necessity, we can't go.
Well, since you can't go over to the neighbor that you don't like and let your dog keep going there. Or peeing there.
well, you can,
You can, but
you should.
yeah, it's not nice. You don't let your kids do it, you shouldn't let your pets do it.
Yeah.
Right, Ryan?
That's right.
Never mind, that's gonna be fun. So I guess for thoughts and suggestions,
I think the law's fine just the way it's written.
that they only have to clean up their dog poop in a public park?
It says, commit a nuisance in any park, public building, store, parking lot, public sidewalk, or any private property without the consent of the landowner. So if you tell me I can take my dog on your property and defecate, then I can.
And it defines what a nuisance is too, so.
Right, frequent urination or defecation. So that's if I take my dog over there and it poops all the time on their yard. It's not if my dog poops while we're walking down the sidewalk, I don't have to clean it up anymore? Because I'll tell you, never mind. It is a sensory experience.
So take
Right,
out the word
Henry?
frequent.
Or put it down after urination so that. Because you can't clean that thing.
No, but it can kill their grass
True.
if they're peeing in the same spot all the time. No. So I guess what do we want to do? Do you want to think on it for a month? I just thought if we were doing this, because it came about, we could have a public hearing and have one public notice out for all three things for our next meeting. And get our bang for our buck with our public notice. And it 'tis the season for dog walking.
I don't mind the first part of your suggestion, I'd leave H out,
Okay?
personally.
So if somebody's dog poops a lot and it stinks really bad next door, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
Okay?
I got one worse
Because
than dogs.
they gotta clean it up anyways eventually.
No,
Because they gotta walk around in it too.
no, people don't do that. I can think of a couple properties, unfortunately.
Yes, I know.
We're anal, that's what it is.
So we're gonna have 3 public hearings?
Right. What are your thoughts, Joe?
You're gonna introduce that as a proposed amendment, schedule a public hearing, we can have it ready for you.
I didn't think we had a problem in town with those fences. Especially
It's
within the
gonna
parks,
change
I
the
know we have
character.
those fancy things.
We do.
Have to say yes to
But
that.
this technically says, effective the dogs run in public parks, not anywhere. And I always thought the rule was to clean up anywhere. Whether it's a public park or a sidewalk. I mean, technically your dog can poop on the sidewalk.
It doesn't mean we have to adopt it. I make a motion to have that first part where dog owners are responsible and where it ends owned by another individual as an addendum to the dog law, and public hearing set for our next meeting at 5 p.m.
I'll second that.
So 77-4G
Yes.
changes.
Yes.
All in favor? Opposed?
But I do see an awful lot of responsible dog owners picking
Yeah,
up
I do too.
dogs.
I do as well.
Ricky.
Yeah.
I see the same one all the time.
NERCO,
All right, did you
Oops.
set a motion for the public
Yeah.
hearing?
yep,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
Charlie made the motion, Ed seconded,
Okay.
and we were all in favor
Okay,
for the first portion of that,
18.
changing that last sentence of the first portion.
Okay,
Okay. So it's not to take out the sentence or two before that, it's just to change that last sentence to that.
okay.
NERCO would love to use the Veterans Memorial Park Saturday, September 1st, to host a family-friendly event that's open to the public from 12 to 7 p.m. And recognize the day before, August 31st, as International Opioid Awareness Day. And they hope to also have bands performing on the bandstand starting at 1 p.m. Final band finishing at 7 p.m. No on-site cooking or fires. Water will be provided. There will be no alcohol of any kind allowed at or near the event. Folks will be encouraged to bring their lawn chairs with their family for a peaceful day of music and support those who battle addiction and in recognition of the community of lost. Would we like to let them know that that would be great and that we would like for them to fill out our paperwork
Yeah.
along with their fee for the use of the electricity that day, as well as a certificate of insurance.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Charlie made the motion, that would be wonderful, and Joe seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
They may have a large crowd there, so I hope that they would clean up afterwards so that it's not a mess for that Sunday, Monday.
We have to make the dog walk people clean the trash cans out, and move their trash as well. Is that something we want to have for this? That one we again in September. The next drop. We make them.
Are you asking me?
Well, we make them take out their trash with them in the cans.
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, we pick it up anyways, on Fridays, every Friday.
But I'm saying that they need to scatter all over the yard.
Oh, they have to pick up after themselves, yes,
Let's
of
tell
course.
some people they don't.
It's called litter.
So we're good with that?
Yes.
The TAP grant, let me tell you, I was planning on going, and Joe and I had a discussion that we felt we had enough on our plate. And it was okay not to go to this year.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Right? Lewis County Planning for site plan review is for 20 Harper's Pizza and Clam Shack. It's just correspondence back that it was approved with conditions, of course.
We've already approved it.
Yep.
And they came yesterday to our office to pay for the building permit.
Yeah.
I think they're-
Do you have any interest in all this?
That's at the county, right?
We sent them there, but they came to us to get their permit to start.
Oh. Well, hopefully they'll figure it out. There's an email here from Scott Andre. I sent the letter out in regard to our findings on, is it Forest Avenue, right? Well, extension of Forest Avenue. I don't know if it really has a name, does it?
I only got one question about email. Originally, I thought he came to us with a snow plowing problem, and now it looks like it's a drainage problem. So what do we have here?
You know, I think it was kind of both. I don't even know. So, one thing, Tom, you have this, right?
Yeah, I just read it.
Yeah, so number one is an interesting question with where sewer lines might go. Do we have any idea that this is,
Donnie, where's the sewer going
Brown's Plumbing and Heating.
here,
from Brown's Plumbing?
pass that down.
Brown Pond? Built that manhole in Forest Ave.
Right there in Forest, right? Right there.
They run around line into that building.
Is he aware of it?
But it's not, read that number one for me.
I think he's talking at the actual store where they sell the plumbing supplies,
Right, right.
not the appliance store.
Right, I don't care, is he aware of it?
Yeah, but,
He's a plumber.
yeah. Yeah, they put a sewer line.
Kind of where I'm going with it.
Well,
You
that's,
don't dump into the storm drain.
right?
It comes into the manhole.
That's kind of my point.
Right, that's what I'm asking. It's not a storm drain there, it's a sewer.
Well, there's a storm drain by, Mary Jane's lawn, but they're not tied into that. Their sewer goes into the manhole. And their water line's there too. It goes up the street on her side to the building. There's a curb box right there somewhere.
Those are service laterals though, right? Those are services, they're not
Right.
mains.
Right.
Right.
Them are their own services, they put them in, but they're tied into that manhole.
That's my
They're not
point.
tied into the storm drain.
Right, that's my point. It's in what was determined to be not our street. And it was put in by them, so that it's 5 feet from the edge of pavement or to the cleanout, whichever occurs first in accordance with our sewer use law.
They
So
come-
we're only responsible for 5 feet past Trinity.
But you don't own that, you don't own that street.
Right.
They brought the sewer right, I'm pretty sure they were tied right into the manhole. That sits there.
And all of our streets, we're going into on the 5 streets, we're going into every intersection. It varies to what makes sense, some 50 feet, some of them more.
Right, but
But the 5 Streets project does not include a new sewer lateral to Brown's Plumbing and Heating, if he's asking.
no, but it's not going into the storm drain anyways.
No.
So it's not. So the other one is, are you going to put a new line into that store? No, we're not planning. Well, we probably, I'm assuming that when we do Trinity Avenue, you have to do something with a little bit of intersections there. I mean, whether it's 10 feet out or
That's what we
15
just
feet
explained.
out.
Every intersection, we're going into the intersection so that the corner is a smooth transition.
Right?
Right.
So that's.
So Woodlawn, we're going into Woodlawn about 15 to 25 feet. Sharp Street, we're going up that street. James Street, we're going up that street.
Got it on my phone.
Right. So, and at the end, it's a little interesting with a threat to us of, you know,
Let her back, no?
yeah.
Do a lot about it, community too.
So I don't mind emailing him back and letting him know.
Okay. Thanks.
Is that okay?
They'd be coming to see us, some more.
But we're not planning on, are we putting any,
This is public record right here.
we're putting storm drainage down Trinity Avenue. We're not planning on going out with our storm drainage to feed into that at all.
We're taking the storm drain that currently runs under Mary Jane's front yard.
Yep,
We're abandoning that.
okay?
And we're putting it into Trinity. And it's going under the railroad tracks that we have the agreement. And then we're discharging where it goes right now. We're just doing it within a village right of way instead of under somebody's front yard and under 2 buildings.
Yep, okay. All right, so we're good with that?
Let's see.
You're gonna respond, Donna?
Yep, I will be happy to do that. Excellus with premium rate changes, of course. So we have another 8.9% expected. It says the percentage change to your group's premium is 8.9%. I'm assuming that that doesn't mean decrease. I'm assuming that means an increase. I don't know what happens when you assume, however, I don't think we need to make a motion or anything on that, that's just information for us, right?
I don't think that means the only thing you could do is say we're looking elsewhere.
Well, that might
But
be an
that would have to be
idea.
agreed upon by the union.
Is that something we should look into? The union actually.
That's the rate change that goes into effect in January, isn't it?
I think so.
Should be,
All kidding aside, we should be
Wendy?
thankful, that's all it
They
is.
say this rate change they're talking takes effect every January.
January, every year.
I've seen it as high as
One time we
20.
went down, but then the next year they hit us like 18% again, yeah. I think we went down like $8.
The other thing, when we met with the CSEA, they said that they had people, remember,
Yeah.
that you can have them look at what we have as a plan and have them review our stuff in the fall to make sure that we have the best coverage for whatever. That might be something to do. Let's
Well, they
say,
would have to, propose it to the DPW, because they're the ones.
absolutely, but they said that they can take whatever our plan is and they have the whole forum of insurance companies and make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck with whatever our plan is. That might be something we want to look into doing in the fall, or maybe even reaching out in August, see what they think.
If they've made that offer, I think it'd be crazy not to let them look.
And I said, even if we get it, because not all of our employees are CSEA,
Right.
we can use that for all of our employees, and she said, absolutely.
You wanna wait till August to reach out to them?
I think so.
You're going to want to do that because the insurance industry, they like to use loss runs and actuaries, and sometimes it's even tough to get it more than 30 days.
Right.
I think we need to also bring,
Oh,
And she-
shoot, you know what?
get Pam's opinion on this, only because she's dealt with the insurance companies on a regular basis for the health insurance and the,
We've been with Boyd since I can remember. Since I've been here 10 years. It's always been Boyd to work for us.
MVP has a good network up here now too, so. Everybody got support.
Boy, one's covered with
Yeah.
the first part, Blue Cross Blue Shield's always been.
Always.
Yeah, when you have to look at them all, I'm gonna tell you. Two different.
So, are we good with that?
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to the Board of Legislators, and I apologize because this is something I was supposed to bring up when the municipal board was here and I forgot. They're asking again if we would like to be part of an upcoming Central Lewis County Regional Water Study. Study will map and evaluate existing water systems in the town of Denmark, Lowville, Watson, and Martinsburg. Goal of the project is to discover cost-effective ways to increase water system redundancy, identify troubling infrastructure issues before they become emergencies, and formulate a plan to make our local infrastructure better prepared for future economic development. Study is $300,000 through local government efficiency grant, 10% local match, which is being paid by the county. So I'm assuming that we would like for the municipal board to make suggestions on this issue before we make action.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yep.
I totally respect what the municipal board said, because they've already made a recommendation once. I will also say that since that time, we got pretty good cooperation from the county in getting a lot of money back. It's not gonna cost us anything, we don't really have to do anything, but it'll make them happy.
Who are you?
I was just gonna say
I think
that.
we should do it.
Can you feel his forehead, Wendy?
Well, I'm thinking, I would like to see us get that 50 again next year. Yeah. I'm never going to go along with anything but that water system staying here in the village, so they can do whatever they want. Maybe we'll learn something from it, who knows, and it's a freebie, and let's face it, they came to the plate and gave us their $50,000 after you made the recommendation. So I would just ask that Donnie, the municipal board, reconsider that based on, you know, the county's asking us to do it, it's not gonna cost us anything, and we appreciate the fact that they gave us $50,000.
Who's that one? Never got one. But
No, it must have been-
Charlie, you don't mind relaying that also to the municipal board?
I will
Today's comments?
happily and information.
I think that letter should go in their packet also.
Yes, that's
Yep.
true.
Yep. I'm assuming that this is gonna go to the municipal board too, right? They did that to you tonight.
They all got one, but I got one.
Oh, so we may wanna just email it.
I'm assuming they all got one.
I do.
Yeah, sorry.
Email and ask their suggestion or wait for the meeting?
Just wait till the meeting, it's fine.
Dan, I think you need to go to that meeting and make your impassioned speech that you just made today.
I'll be glad to.
I'm
Because that,
sorry, because
I would not be able to
it was
do
way
what
down on
you
the
just did.
agenda and I apologize.
Second Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Will you please remind me?
So,
We
I'll
will
remind you.
Yeah, there you go.
Lewis County Fair, Magic in the Air is themed
It's the
this
10th,
year.
Dan. 6
We
p.m.
are invited to the opening ceremony Tuesday, July 17th at 9:55 a.m. at the Boston Street entrance. I will be working that day for therapy, so if anybody else would like to attend and to represent the village, that would be wonderful. Susan Williams, formerly Bolecki, owns a property located at 5422 and 5424 Stowe Street in Lowville. It is a 4-unit apartment building. She recently became aware of the project that we're looking at doing on Stowe Street and has some very big concerns about where her residents will park when there is curbing put in with only two, I'm gonna say two cutouts, right, in that area. I'm assuming one for the one half of the building and one for the other half of the building.
You're talking about curb cuts?
Right,
Yeah.
the driveway, right,
Yeah, I was actually just looking for it on Google.
cutouts. We do have some pictures that you can share among us, which is the red vehicle. Do you need to see that, Dan? Sorry. That is the property there.
Oh.
They
We'd
frequently
be able to
park
go up that street.
out in the street to begin with, and it can be a little interesting during snow removal time, just plowing the road
You
there.
know the house, Donnie? Do you know the house?
I know where you are.
The next page is the actual Google map of how deep her property is. If
Which one of these is good?
the red one,
The one in the.
This one.
yeah.
So what you gotta do is make parking in the back.
So I don't know what's out back,
Because a neighbor, this apartment house, also, he's got all kinds of parking.
and there's quite a bit of parking over here with the neighbor's property. Or I don't know if they could even drag through to the back of hers.
She may have to make some parking in the back.
But that's a question and a concern of hers with her property that is a rental is, that she will not be able to have parking for all of her residents at that location. I don't know what we would like to suggest. I let her know that we would probably be having public information sessions, et cetera. But I just wanted to bring this up to you as a concern from a citizen. I don't know if you guys have heard this at all or have any suggestions or.
I kind of recall the area. I don't have plans with me, but this one where the cars kind of hanging to the road a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the car hanging out, that one car, that big one that hangs out on the road. I guess my question is,
While we're on Stowe Street,
would that area have a 2-inch curbing right through there?
But,
But
well,
it's
the
still not
other
gonna
thing,
help with
the
that
other
car
thing
hanging
too
out.
is drainage comes down across her front where we've actually created a speed bump on the side to get the drainage to come back out. And then it goes down the road and into his property and washes into the creek.
But that's gonna have all new storm drains, so that'll be, with catch basins, so that'll be taken care of. That won't happen anymore.
You
Once
would
a new street
hope.
is in.
You would hope, but I would also hope that we could eliminate a car parking its rear end in the middle of the road.
That's,
There,
so, they're on
So I just wanted to bring this up as correspondence to us, bring your attention to it.
Well, our zoning basically states you have to have so many parking places for your apartments, and it says off-street. And so with that car hanging out in the street, it's not off-street. So,
Correct.
like Charlie says, she's got room to build parking in the backyard.
like the next door neighbor has, same darn thing.
in the past couple of weeks on the same street to compound the problems, I had a phone call from a constituent. Seems that we have a lot of ATVs going up and down Stowe Street, getting gas at Stewart's. Last week, apparently 4 of them went out of the village, went by the sheriff's office, where the sheriff car sitting there and just watched them go by. And I questioned somebody today about, that lives there, that used to be very intimately tied to the village. Can you talk to me about ATV traffic on Stowe Street? And that person's remark was, there's a lot more than I would like to see. And my remark was, well, one's too many because the roads are closed. I know that the village police department a few weeks ago got 2 because I've researched it. But I also know that probably the last year, we've written maybe 5 tickets at that. So maybe we're not doing as much as we should. That stuff's gotta stop. That street's got too many problems. They have more things going on that aren't correct. I then asked somebody in the sheriff's department, and their remark was, well, we don't want to write tickets, the judges just throw them out. And I said, stop. I said, your job is to enforce the law. From there, it's over. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be in the police department. So now I'm probably in real hot water, but I don't really care because it seems like we have more ATVs running in this village than should be, and we need to enforce the law. People on Stowe Street are putting up with a lot between all the traffic they have to have and ATVs going down there to get gas, that street's closed. And I had that same officer tell me 3 years ago during the snort run, well, they gotta go somewhere to get gas. And my remark was, well, that's fine. When I need to have a parking space that's only 2 hours and I can't find another place, you won't write me a ticket because I couldn't find another place to park.
He's back. He's back, that's good.
Medication is worn off.
So anyways,
The fever has
and
subsided.
that car that you're showing in that picture,
Yeah,
looks like it's in the right of way, and it should be ticketed.
it is in the right of way.
Seems like that'd be very easy to solve.
It's actually sometimes sticking in the road, not even in the road.
Correct.
That's not legal, you guys shouldn't park like
It
that.
is if we don't do anything.
Oh, and there are other cars that park on the sidewalk all the time and. Are we good to move on?
Yes.
New York State Department of Transportation.
Are you gonna get back there?
Sorry. Well, I just didn't know if we wanted to just do a little more looking and see what we think we could maybe suggest to her, or if we address it at another meeting,
Just got a
or.
lot of land, make a parking.
The design is complete and the contract is let, or not let, but, I mean,
Will be, the bid's based on the contract.
Right.
Plans.
you're gonna change it, but the contractor's already bid on the drawing set. I mean,
change it for one, and you're gonna change it for all, not changing it for anybody. We got people that want it fixed, and then when we get it fixed, we got people that want to say, oh, I don't want this, and I don't want that.
They
So,
park across the sidewalk too, really, the way that car is. They
All
gotta
the
walk out
time.
on the street, right?
correct, absolutely, but they don't have a sidewalk, it's all pavement,
So
so it's
that
all hard
serves as it.
surface. Right,
Yeah. New sidewalk, okay.
Not just a curb.
so I don't know what it looks like right at that area, whether it's two
Five Streets does not include sidewalks.
curb cuts for driveways, and there's a actual 7-inch curb in the center of the front of the house,
I think there is.
Can we do the sidewalk?
I assume, but I'm not an engineer. I don't have anything to do with this, really.
Yeah, we look, wherever there's an official driveway, we put the curb cut, 1-inch curb. But I mean, I've looked at plans, but I'm guessing it comes back up to 7-inch to kind of prevent them from pulling the car in like that. Remember, that's one of the areas we looked at, there was a few like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to break some eggs to make an omelet, I guess. Right? Put that in minutes.
You're gonna make me hungry talking about it.
So I guess would we like to respond, or would we like to look and make some suggestions, or?
Kinda late.
There's gonna be a curb there. If she wants parking, she'll have to put something out back. That's my suggestion. I don't know what else you're gonna do. I mean, what else can we do for her? You know what I mean? Does she have a suggestion of what she would like? And we can say no.
We'll make it one lane and put a light on.
She would like for it to remain as it is.
Well, it's not gonna happen.
We're gonna get that street done, we're gonna get it done right.
Cleaning all the snow up through there, so she don't have to fire anybody in the plow.
No, because they have to plow around the so I could write her a letter in response and make sure everybody's okay with it before it goes out?
Sure, that sounds good.
Can we call her? Huh? Yeah.
Mike, can I ask you a question? You're on Stowe Street. I wanna go back to the ATVs. Do you find that this is an issue, or don't you wanna comment?
It's an issue. I know that I've called the sheriff's department a few times in my 18 years. Typically high speed, riding too abreast. Even bigger issue is snow sleds going up and down, and I've seen them go right down the sidewalk, I've seen them go in the ditches, and I've seen them go up and down the middle of the street. That is the recreational vehicle law does not exist on Stowe Street, in my opinion. And the same issue with the home that you're speaking of. There's many a time I have to stop so that I don't get a car coming down oncoming lane, because that one big motor vehicle sticks out at least 18 inches at a time.
You have to plow around it too.
And when it's plowed around, there's a pile in the street.
Man, that's gotta stop. All those things.
Okay,
You're addressing it, Donna?
yep. I might have her phone number at home.
She has it on here.
I have it.
Oh, that's right, you know what? You're right. I saw that today, so I threw out my sticky note. We're good. Okay. New York State DOT, Lowville Beaver River Railroad. Department of Transportation designates the official state agency to administer section 18 of the transportation law. Gives us the opportunity to acquire abandoned railroad transportation properties for public purposes. Notify that a formal request for the release of the state's preferential right of acquisition has been submitted for the property identified in the enclosed documents. Statute does not automatically extend to this right to public agencies, however, it does indicate that they should receive timely notification of the availability of the property. We ask that if you have any interest in acquiring part or the entire property for public use, please reply to this notification by July 6th.
Would we have any use for that? Storm drain easement or anything along that line in the future? Anything else you would? Between basically Trinity and.
You see this?
That's the portion that we don't own. Right?
No, this is a piece that we would love to have had our hands on.
What piece is it, Tom?
That would be it's between
Trinity
AMF and Norcis. That runs all the way contiguous, right straight through Shady. It'd be a perfect drainage easement, sewer easement, water easement. Kevin's gonna fall right out of his chair when he says
Down
this.
South State, we want.
We went all the way around this.
Well, they won't give it up.
We wanna know if we're interested in it.
You've got somebody that's interested and they've got to make sure there's no, yeah, they've got somebody interested and before they convey it to them, they got to make sure there's no public agencies going on.
We had to get an easement for this, for a parcel that's adjacent to this.
I thought they never gave up railroads. All of a sudden they're giving one up.
First time I've ever seen it.
It's amazing.
So is it both of those parcels?
Yeah.
Only 2.1 acres.
I would say we tell them we want it. Before July 6th.
Proceed with it and tell them we'd be interested in it and see if there's a price tag associated.
Right, because I'm sure there is.
Can't hurt it.
That's it. Got a little easier now, the whole project.
Yeah.
Down the road, we might be able to do a change order and save some money. Yes, no?
Perhaps. Look at it.
Depends on what the price tag is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
right.
do you small?
Gotta get the land first, yeah.
Certainly worth considering.
But it goes from street to street,
Right, yeah.
like flush and flush.
Right from Trinity to Shady. Yeah.
Would you be interested in sending a letter on our behalf
Sure, I
if you're
can.
interested in
Yeah.
that? Since I'm sure you have some legal expertise that
Across the
we're
road, we're paying for it.
not quite as
Right here. Go across and then down. and
familiar with.
Right straight through. We run a water loop right straight through there.
So that would be a nice piece of-
Take one and pass it down, would you?
That's kind of messing with you.
So I'm adding one more thing to correspondence.
Take one, pass it down.
Something I got
Take
today.
one and pass it.
From Double Play, and they are looking at Downtown Revitalization Initiative, or DRI. They have been working on securing a 6.9 acre piece of property between Shady Avenue and Trinity. They are looking to combine, they're looking to create possibly through grant funding and intermunicipal agencies, I think, a corridor connecting the Agricultural Society, which is the fairground, Beaver Camp at the Maple Ridge, and the south end of town, and possibly Double Play as part of that. They are really looking for someone to represent the village with possibility of applying for some kind of a grant, and to even just be part of the process. I did tell Dan that Cheryl Schenkel O'Neill, he said it's not just for this, but it's also for creating apartments above, let's say like Dollar General, that aren't currently there. It's an entire downtown revitalization. and the DRI is likely to continue. The grant would need to be submitted June 2019. And they're wondering if we are interested in having someone sit on that committee. Ed is already involved in double play, so I think it might make sense that he maybe be our liaison for this. Obviously, if you don't have dreams about your community and improvements, things don't really change or progress or become more exciting, so.
Come on.
I still think Rails to Trails is a great idea myself. So I would support this. I did inform him that our village budget was not looking incredibly fruitful.
You're the president of that board, Ed?
I am as of the last meeting.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
There's another unopposed election.
It's a great spot, Ed.
But I just wanted to bring this to all of your attention.
Did you miss the meeting?
No,
Because when I
Missed the one before.
I came back and I was.
Okay.
So I think I have everything. Oh, and there's one more. I think we have an email in here that just came in today. On behalf of Dwelling Place Ministries, request use of the Memorial Park for a worship event. Invite local worship bands to play the dance area from noon until 9.
When is this?
August 25th.
I have to look because we might already have,
Well, that's it. So this is gonna go to you.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's not really to you, but you're in charge of that, so.
Yeah. So would you approve that one and then, like, what would you do with that? I have to check and see if it's even open. I didn't hear anything
Subject to
from.
availability.
Yep. I make the motion we approve that, subject to availability.
And certificate of insurance and
And all
filling
that
out
good
our.
stuff.
All
Second.
that canned motion that we use.
Do you have this, Wendy, or no?
I didn't know anything
Can you
about
give her
that
that?
one. Who seconded it again?
I did.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Okay. Actually, the only other thing, and I'm sorry, did you all see the thing that Tom Spalding responded with in regard to the,
So that's been asked, we got that weekend, right?
is it August 25th?
I think it was last weekend, August.
Oh, his is Sunday, August 26th.
Oh,
And that was, yes.
okay.
And that was one thing that he said is that the library's closed on Sundays, so that shouldn't affect their business hours with that street being closed. He'd be happy to do a certificate of insurance for us. He would be happy to take care of the barricades. And he is going to check in with DOT.
Is that what organization is that there?
It's to benefit the fire department and the Legion.
He's putting it on as a sportsman thing, like they had in Watertown there in the arena. People show up, you know, with wheelers or whatever, sell guns or, it's outdoor stuff is what it is, but he was doing it in
Outdoor
the Legion
displays.
parking lot. He ain't in the village park doing it?
Nope,
I
no.
was gonna say, he said he was doing it in the Legion
Yeah,
parking lot.
he was asking to close off the street between the end of the, fire hall to the end of the Legion there. Yeah, and that was one of the concerns was that, people, would they be able to get to the library and stuff, but it is on a Sunday, so that is not, and he said he would double check, but last he knew they didn't have hours on Sundays.
Can I have that date?
August 26th from 11 to 4 p.m. He's planning on it taking place both inside the fire hall as well as the back of the parking lot that's between the fire hall and the American Legion.
don't wanna stir the crap, but do you actually own that street?
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
It is a
That paperwork
street.
says you own that?
Yep. There's a big question about it, but paperwork that he gave us actually showed that we were the owners.
Yeah.
Lee Engelman. Right, Joe? You and I looked
Yeah.
at that.
It's a narrow section, but there is a narrow section that the village owns.
Well, the pin is about 6 feet from the fire department back corner. That's Legion Home, right straight out through the library, where that curb is their other pin. That's what I'm just wondering.
It's weird. It actually goes up and then it narrows and goes across. I'll show you the map that we have. It's in the folder that we have in the Legion for the parking
All
lot.
for their thing. Okay.
They must own land on both sides of that right away then.
That's what I'm thinking.
They know they do. I know where the pin is.
I know.
Out back, we ain't got no place to park technically.
Out by their door, they actually park on Legion's property practically.
We all know that, don't worry about it. She's
But-
never let no secret out.
But your truck is not in the roadway. Your back end of the truck is not in the roadway, so we're all good.
That's why I was just wondering if you had anything on it that you said you own it. Because I can show you the pin.
Yeah. I'll show you the map next week.
So like I said, I mean, what you guys got right away, they still must own land on both sides of that. We don't have to even plow out there because we don't own it.
We would plow that.
So are we okay
We pave
with
that, we strike that, we sand it, move the snow.
allowing them to do this? Or do we want to wait one more month to make sure that he's reached out to DOT?
Make a motion that we do it with the understanding that he gets certificate, and he gets approval from the State Department of Transportation. That way we're.
Or just acknowledging that he's closing off that road to that, on that
Did
end?
he, and the other thing is, I don't believe there'd be a problem, but did he run that as the police chief? Tell him what he wanted to do, so they have an idea what's going on over there?
They were here at the last meeting and they said as long as they had their own barricades, they were fine with it, I thought. Because he said that because I wrote down here, barricades by self, no PD.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, they should be aware of what's going on.
Right, so if we, have a certificate of insurance with the village and the Legion, well, we don't, not that we don't care about the Legion, but that's not our thing. Are we okay with approving this as a event to be able to block off, or would we like to wait another month?
Yes.
Wait another month?
No.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you were.
I wanted to confuse you and I.
So I will make a motion that we allow them to have this event that is a fundraiser for the fire department and the Legion and block off Parkway.
Parkway Drive.
And I'll
Thank you.
second the motion I originally motioned.
From the fire department down on Sunday, August 26th from 11 to 4, providing you have a certificate of insurance.
And DOT approval, or we're not concerned about?
And the DOT is aware of it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that DOT will actually give you written approval, but as long as that, you know, that he's talked to them.
Okay. You seconded your.
I second that motion, so if it clears both
Sorry.
ways, I will correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're good?
Maybe that
Okay.
happens.
Village attorney, do you have any other exciting information for us
I do
tonight?
not, unless you have something else for me, I need to go to the next meeting.
Good.
Okay, though.
Why didn't you say something? I'm
I'll be
sorry.
fine. They don't have that much for me tonight, so.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, 6:45, you have to leave.
Thank you,
Mental
Joe.
note.
Thank you.
You have to train me. Mark already did.
Okay, guys.
You need to continue with the training. myself, I think that I have gone first, Sandy. Clerk treasurer,
No.
we're good? Chief of police is not in today. I think we're good with that. Superintendent. No, but you got to come.
You've got to go.
You're so privileged.
So, at the municipal board meeting, Supervisor Shell stopped in to talk about their disinfection byproducts and that they're not able to quantify a certain amount of water that they're losing every day. And they have asked us to put in a master meter just off of Rice Road, between Rice Road and Hillcrest. If you recall, we used to feed Sunset and Hillcrest from number 3 or West State Street. And the pressure up there was very, very substandard. When the town put their water tank in, they tapped in from Rice Road to Hillcrest, and we basically closed the valve at Sunset and West State, and so that water is fed to those residents from the town. Took care of all the pressure problems that they had. They've had leak detection in, and they're not able to find where they're losing water, and so they have asked us to install a master meter. It's not anything that was budgeted. They did ask last year. We did also ask in exchange that they, and I think you've all heard this, that they install touch readers on the rest of their meters and install appropriately sized meters on all of the other places where they get water. Brookside being one of them, other areas.
So it's not bottleneck down.
So it's not bottleneck, correct. So municipal board has agreed and said go ahead and do it. But I think, and I'm gonna ask Pat his opinion, I think if we do this, Pat, we have to put in a meter, a vault, a meter, and a bypass with backflow prevention. That's gonna require Department of Health review and approval and likely design, correct?
Yeah, because that's a public water supply, of course.
Public water supply that we're
It's
modifying.
a pretty significant thing, a meter vault. Underground, I assume you're talking?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you gotta be able to have a drain or a means to get any water collected in and out. You do a sump pump facility or if you can gravity somewhere. I don't know the terrain there.
Not gonna gravity there. No, they did not offer to pay for it. Okay.
What's the reasoning for that?
So if it's on a town line, but it serves village residents?
It's the village,
Yep.
it's the village when it comes off Rice Road.
So they're asking us to install something there to make sure that it's not leaking out in the village.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry, I thought you meant that they were asking for that whole line to have a meter put on that whole line. They're just asking us for us to meter our
right.
Sunset Boulevard and Hillcrest.
What we do is, I think we credit, I'm not sure how it works, I think we credit them for this amount of water that's used from the individual meter readings.
Right.
They suspect that there could be a leak someplace in here, and that might be where they're losing their water. They've not been able to find it from their tank down through to here. So they've asked us to put in a meter.
So this water goes from the village to the town, back to the village?
Right, in this one street.
Yes.
In this one street, yeah.
It's all one way or is there a back way? Can water flow just one direction?
Yes. Yeah, we already thought about that. Right, Danny? You wanna make sure that maybe that valve wasn't open? So,
Wow, I think it might be a reasonable request. Unfortunately.
How about,
so it'll, I mean, because it'll have to go to Department of Health for approval and review. They'll want design drawings, they'll want specs, they'll want testing, certification.
how about once they do what we've asked them to do, then we give serious thought to do what we do like this. touchpads are not gonna be near as much cost, I believe, that.
Well, they gotta
this
replace
vault
meters.
will-
But the meters will be, they'll have to likely pull the top off of their vault, stick a new meter in. But I don't know, they did not agree to do that. Right, they haven't said that they're going to.
Well, that's my point. If they're not willing to do what we would want and need them to do, and yet they want us to do, to help them find a leak that they think might be there, I got a problem with that.
What Charlie's saying is tit for tat.
Well, I don't know, I'm just saying, there may or may not be a leak there, all right? We spend all this money and there is a leak, okay, good. We spend all this money and there's no leak, and they still haven't put in the equipment we have been asking for years for. I wanna be a good neighbor, but it goes two ways, don't it? I don't know, that's how I feel about it. Is there any other way to find out if there's a leak in there, in that one street?
The leak detection people are usually pretty good at that, I think.
They've done leak detection on the lines.
In our
That line,
village.
our line too?
Right.
or-
I don't know.
One time we could find a leak for one.
Would that be a cheaper alternative?
How much would it cost us to find a leak in our system in that one street?
We've actually looked up there, and we actually thought we may have pinpointed a spot, but it turned out it wasn't a leak.
Okay.
But it's gotta be going somewhere from
I
point A
believe,
to point B.
was you here when they did the leak detection in the town? I think Mark was there.
I think they just done it recently.
Yeah?
Yeah,
They had, like a week or two ago, I think, right?
like this, in the last 6 months.
The last
They
time
had
he
people up
was
there
here,
a couple weeks ago.
I think Mark was in charge. Yeah, I know he was, because they also did some of the villages and put the cost.
We
We
could,
used to do it about every 5-6 years.
right,
Come into town, they find quite a few leaks that we don't know about. But they went around that street and we fixed 2 of them, they found them up there before.
mhm.
That's what, I don't know, you said they must have just come then.
How old is the valve that goes back into the village that's shut off, you know?
They're both shut off, there's 2.
How old are they, you know?
Back when the streets were built, I couldn't tell you 70 something.
Because if those valves are leaking through, it's not really a leak that you can detect, it's just backfeeding into the village, you can't really know.
You're right. They could be them.
If there's 2 valves, you could pressure test between the 2 of them maybe.
See, there was a valve for Sunset, and then they did Hillcrest as a new street. They stuck a valve up by the hospital, went out across the lot there over to Hillcrest, but they hooked it in up top, so it was making a loop around. They just shut them 2 valves off, and they run a line up West Sixth Street on that side, so their line would loop when they did it. Well, I think the village paid for it, but that's when they did the construction.
There's gotta be a cheaper way to find a leak there than to do this whole vault and all this other stuff.
We could see if rural water might come up, and, I mean, like you said, Donnie, every 5 to 6 years, I've been here almost.
I think that's when we used to do them on a thing, I don't know what they charge, but we used to do them about every 5 years or so.
Might be a good time to do it.
I mean, they have to do it next
That way
time.
we're showing them good faith, we want to help them, but we don't wanna go broke doing it.
This is gonna, I mean, this would be a very costly thing.
Yeah.
Like-
Fingerprints are expensive.
Does-
40,
does-
50,000.
Ugh.
It's a big underground structure. Things at a table.
Well, I'm glad I'm being approved then.
It's an 8-inch main.
Did you say 100,000?
40.
What'd you say for figured?
40 to 50
40,000.
thousand.
Okay.
We'll see if we can find another alternative to that solution to.
The annual water quality report was sent out, you probably all got it.
Mhm.
And the water withdrawal report for DEC has been submitted. That's all I have.
Thank you.
If you call my voicemail, I apologize, because I'm on vacation until Monday. where I'm off until Monday, except for tonight. My voicemail says so.
Thank you, Thomas.
What do you think, you got a kid graduate?
Or something.
That's all I got.
He's gotta help him pack up and move out as of Sunday morning, right, Tom?
That's what the party's for.
Congratulations.
Got his truck fixed, so we can go.
Yep.
I use a thumb, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, never mind. Picked up a kid walking from Harrisville to Lowville the other day. That was great.
So, thank you.
Capital future planning?
I think that the cameras should be put on that person's agenda,
Okay.
capital and future planning. And I think the walkway from Shady Ave down through the Commons parking lot should also be put on that. As well as solar array in the Commons parking lot. Control the lights, future lights,
Thank you.
solar array. As well as the railroad parcels that we got that corresponding on. Who's on capital?
I think it's Joe and I, isn't it? I supposed to do? I'll look and see.
So let's meet next week.
Pretty good.
I'll send you an email.
Okay. Personnel?
Just to report that, police contract's been signed. We're good to go for the next 4 years.
Thank you. Finance?
Nothing new, is there?
Nope.
Nothing new, Mayor.
We've still been auditing, right? The checking account?
Not in the month of Sundays.
I was gonna say, I didn't really, I forgot whose
Because we
turn
might,
it was.
we might need to finish up Rich's account and move on to the other two justice accounts as well, just so you know.
Yay.
Okay. Just, sorry. Liaisons fire department, I will reach out to them and let them know that we're with the agreement. Police department, I don't think anything there, we, just the contract, right? Planning board.
Well, they're new police vehicles been ordered.
Okay.
Planning board meet this
ZBA.
in July. Have a date for July, so.
July 2nd.
Okay. We'll do July
Yes, I
second.
got it. Excuse me, I got an application today.
35 minutes.
For planning
And there will
board.
be a ZBA meeting next month as well,
Yes,
which will be
public hearing, third Monday of July.
July 16th.
16th, yeah, okay.
5:30 ZBA,
I think both days are,
6 o'clock is.
6
planning
o'clock
board.
planning board, 5:30.
I know the second's clear, I think the 16th is clear for me too.
Municipal board, anything else?
No, July 10th, 6 PM is the next meeting.
Town?
Guess they hope to, schedule a public hearing tomorrow on the zoning and planning board, changes for their new law.
That'd be great. County?
No report.
LBA, I have no report, except for the village-wide garage sales will be August 3rd and 4th. But I'm not sure who to contact yet or giving that information to. The chamber's not doing it this year for the LBA in conjunction with that.
All stuff on
He's gonna need to sell it so you can buy a car so he doesn't have to walk to college. So if you wanted to publicize, we are looking for someone to help us organize phone calls and a map for our village by garage sale. That'd be awesome. Somebody wanted to entertain themselves with that. We do have historical stuff as well to be able to utilize, organize it. Our map from village by garage sale. Just making sure you're right. Okay, anything else that we've forgotten?
Oh,
Public comment. Henry, my last sole survivor.
Hank?
An observation, I'm very happy that they cut the tree down in front of Mr. Helms' property, even though they had to hire another municipality to do it for you.
We had
We
assistants.
did not hire them.
Did it hire?
We had assistants.
There's no cost involved, though, right?
There's no cost involved, so we didn't hire them.
Well, it's made my street look better than that, in a way. You go up the street, you can see up the street better. You know, it was a good tree, but it's not down.
it was leaning
Main,
toward the house.
And topping up our street, right?
You're just happy you got less leaves to remove.
I will tell you though, that I am really nervous with this Five Streets project and I don't know everything about where the trees are, and I know they're not all in great locations. But the canopy that you have driving down Park Avenue is priceless and takes hundreds of years to create. So my honest fear is that there have been a few recent properties, I'm not gonna say where they are, throughout the village, who cut down a lot of trees, and I don't think it's as pretty as it used to be. And I know that sounds horrible to say that, but it's almost like they cleared too much and then it's like way too open. It doesn't have that small town.
Ryan Mumford is looking down on
Yeah.
you right now with a smile on his face.
Well, at least somebody is. Because I'm not sure
He doesn't
very
know
many
the-
others
he doesn't know
are.
the- She doesn't know the inside joke for that, does she?
He doesn't, he's dating
What?
what's out there.
We got a street to cut.
Yeah, right. We're not cutting it.
I'll be over in the morning.
Daniel, stay away from my tree. But anyways, so that's just something that I'm hoping that even if we have to cut down trees that are between the street and the curb, that we could do something to encourage the property owner to plant a tree, whether it's further back from the sidewalk, to still create something there that.
Well, I thought if we end up taking a tree down on that project, we would be replacing the tree.
I hope so, but I don't think we'll replace it in the exact same spot.
I just bought 2 red maples and planted them on my property.
I wanna plant a new one in my front yard, but.
Is there anything in the zoning that says if you take the tree down?
I don't know, we can look.
I would
But
say that there should be something in the zoning that says that trees shouldn't be planted between the sidewalk and the curb if it's less than, like 15 to 20 feet. Because they go right there, and I tell you,
I know they go right into all the lines.
well, they cause problems for the lines, that's why we had to take that tree down. It was gonna rip the wire main out of the road.
Hold on for 1 second. Court office hours are now set. Monday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday, both 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Friday hours may be possible, depending on hours during the week. Court, though, takes place, I don't know whether it's 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock until like 5:30 or 6 o'clock on some nights. Oh, actually, hold on. Court on the first and third Tuesday starts at 4 p.m. and usually is over by 5:30 p.m. But the court office is open until 7 p.m. with the court clerk there. Court on Tuesdays, on the second and fourth Tuesdays, starts at 3 p.m. and it's usually over around 7 p.m.
Now,
So either way, these are the set hours for our court clerk on a weekly basis.
when she's off, I'm assuming they'll be closed because there's no backup, correct?
Correct, unless one of the judges happens to come in. So, any questions on that? We can reach out to Jen, but I think we're okay.
Do we need more, to change the subject, do we need more signs on East State Street about trucks? Because we've got one at one end and one at the other end.
Yes.
What about the trucks that are coming down number 4 road?
I watched a nice log truck
These annex.
hop Lynn Stacy's curb the other day while I was at the stop sign
Martin's
and
Log.
had right down our nice, lovely no truck street. Because there's not even no truck signs
Right.
from the stop sign that point this direction, so they just have to go straight through.
Yeah, I just wonder if we need more signs. I don't know.
They're gonna take.
We have the signs, they're in the shop.
We're gonna take down the ones we got.
They're gonna be, we have to put them up.
Oh, good.
So we're all set.
It's not as simple as just pounding a post in the ground and putting a sign up, though. Trust me.
Okay.
Gotta go to DOT.
You have to follow DOT law,
yeah.
you have to follow federal
Call
highway law,
811.
you have to follow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the easy part,
Oh, okay.
so.
All right. Well, anyway, so we're gonna
The
do it.
East State Street will have 9 signs on it,
Oh,
or
good.
more.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we won't have any excuses for not writing tickets, you know?
We don't have any excuses for people
But
knowing that
honestly,
they
I
should be
think
on the road.
the first law that you did was probably the best one.
Wait,
Weight restriction, and that was done.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we need to go back to that. Seriously. Maybe we ought to
I
go
want you
back
all
to the
to know,
weight.
I'll say,
Except-
The PD has actually said that. That's the easiest, best law.
Yeah, because then it makes it really easy to, in front of a judge. You got something solid. Speaking as an ex-judge, you gotta be looking at, where's the proof?
one of my goals before I'm done is there have been all these questions that have come through different points here and there of laws that I think we just kind of said I will deal with that later. Before I'm done, I'm hoping to, so we may have 7 or 8 laws in the next 9 months that we look at and revamp and address, because I have this nice folder that I really want to not have to hand to anybody.
The MOU done on the law.
If you wanted to repeal that existing.
All right,
If you wanted to repeal the existing truck law and make it weight law, what weight are you looking at? 20 ton, maybe?
I don't know.
I mean, what trucks are you trying to get off there? Just the tractor trailers or all your straight tandems and cement trucks?
Well, no,
Because you'd have to,
the issue is always going to be exemptions. We have exemptions, we have a lot of exemptions. And even with a weight law, we're gonna probably have to have exemptions.
about the only, well, there's
local
like,
traffic
right?
exemption,
there's
right?
like 3
Burglaries.
things. You probably want to exempt garbage trucks, school buses and snowplows. That'd be about it.
Well, how about cement truck, burglars, is not they,
They go up straight
or do they
up to.
can go somewhere else?
They can go straight up over the hill right by where their quarry is and go up to the stop sign, except it takes them longer to get through town with red lights.
Yeah, right.
Or if they're going this way, they can take Snell Road or whatchamacallit road there, River Road. Is it River Road?
I know it's not easy, no, no
I'm
matter
gonna
what
tell
we
you,
do.
I don't care what anybody says, I live on East State Street, and the tractor trailers are a lot less now, they really are. They're still coming down the road, but we don't get any of the manure trucks anymore, we don't get,
How about loggers?
the loggers is a problem.
You were
especially
getting a lot of
one-
silage trucks last
especially-
week going down through. I
Well,
saw
I was
a lot
away
of them.
fishing, so I didn't see that.
A lot of times, the log truck come off on number 4 road and cut down
Yeah,
through there.
that's-
Cause they're up that way, you're logging it.
Well, they come, the other day, I see one come down and turn onto Shady, and I'm saying, why, how would they do that? Coming from the Four Corners up, and then made a left onto Shady, and I'm saying, they had a hell of a time just making that left. And it was, the truck said Martin on the side of it. Yeah, probably was.
Gotta have a local traffic exempt too, 'cause I know somebody that needs to get that way.
Yeah, but
Your husband?
that is local traffic. But even with the cab and the empty box though, how much does his truck weigh?
Not always empty.
No, not always empty.
Lots
Most of
of-
the time I am, but
And I'm guessing the gross vehicle weight, even when he's empty, is gonna be over.
You think?
Yep.
What's your gross
Well, my
weight?
truck
What's your
is-
gross weight you said?
18.5, and then my trailer, I couldn't tell you what the trailer weighs.
No, I mean, what did they set for?
Yeah, but.
Probably be,
Oh, you don't know what you're,
Discussing like
oh, you haven't
20,000
made
or what
it.
we
probably be
do.
30,000, I would guess.
You're sitting at, I think you said 20 tons.
That'd be
That's
40.
40,000
Yeah,
tons.
that's 40.
You're under that.
You take a loaded school bus, that's about 26,000.
So they're already exempt.
No, I know they're exempt, I'm just saying, they're over 14
They're
tons.
40 tons.
Motion to adjourn.
Glad I brought it up.
So everybody think about it, we'll figure it out.